Enter Parshat Vayakel, Parshat Shkalim. I want to focus actually on the first pasuk. I know many people like to talk about the first pasuk, but I want to zone in on the sheet of the Ramban and the language that the Torah uses. Vayakel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael vayomer alehem ela dvarim asher tziva Adonai la'asot otam. Moshe gathers Am Yisrael and tells us about Shabbos, about not kindling a fire on Shabbos, and then goes through the same painful detail about the Binyan HaMishkan. As opposed to Rashi, who says that the whole idea of Mishkan is only after Parshat Ki Tisa. It's a b'di'eved that we have to have a building to have kapara for Am Yisrael. The Ramban, as we know, says it both in Parshat Truma and here, that v'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham was a lechatchila, that we had to take the Har Sinai experience and bring it with us every single day. The Torah uses the word Vayakel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. Rashi and the Ramban quotes Rashi also. When did Moshe gather Am Yisrael to tell him about Shabbat and the Mishkan? It's right after coming down. Right after Hakodesh Baruch Hu has forgiven and said, Psal Lecha, to have the Luchot Shniyot the day after Yom Kippur. He comes and he tells them, V'amar l'kulam, I am now reading the Ramban, Inyan Mishkan, Asher nitztava bo mitchilat kodem shavua luchot. This, the concept of building the Mishkan, we already know, as I just said, before the Shvirat HaLuchot. So why is he repeating it? Why is he repeating this? Kivon shenitratzelam HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We just finished Parshat Ki Tisa. After the Chet HaEgel, what happens? HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgives us and has given us Psal Lecha in Parshat Ki Tisa. Have the Luchot Shniyot. V'karat imo brit chadasha. Hashem ki'ilu renews our vows. Says, even though you have this humongous chait, but I am forgiving you. I am re-strengthening our relationship. That Hashem is going to be with us. Shilech Hashem b'kirbam. Beautiful language of the Ramban. Hinei chazar l'kadmutam. We come back to that pristine relationship. Ulah avat kilulotam, based on a pasuk in Yirmiyahu of ahavat kilulotayich, that loving relationship. Uviyadua shaita shchinato betocham, as it was going to be before, and it's known that the Shechina now will be as it was originally. Vasu li mikdash shachanti betocham, and therefore now Moshe goes into detail. I believe there's a deep, very deep message that comes when we look at the language of the pasuk. Not only that HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgives, that we're human, lo nitna Torah l'malchei asharei, Torah was given to man, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that we falter. But the actual pasuk, because the faltering was actually in last week's Parsha, was used the exact same language of Vayakel. Vayakel, the whole very, very troubling psukim, and of Aaron's role within, it's Vayikahel Ha'am al Ha'aron. Vayomer elav kuma seilanu Elohim. The exact same shorish of Kahal, where the Ibn Ezra says maybe this is the hint where he was afraid for his life because maybe they had just killed Chor. But the language is used Vayikahel Ha'am, the language of Kihila, and the language of Am. And we know the Ramban in many places, the Nitziv in last week's Parsha has the phrase Dalat Am. This was the riffraff. Vayikahel. What is this? What is the message of Vayikahel Am? And I think some sort of tikkun, if you will. When we go, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu now is saying, I forgive you, and I have that same Avat Kulu Atayich. We start off the Parsha also by Vayakel. What is the language of Kihila versus Eidah? This is what Rav Chalab explains in Parshat Chukat, where if you would turn to Parshat Chukat, he says, by the Chet of the Mei Merivah, the Torah says that after Miriam dies, there's no water. Parak Chaf in Parshat in Sefer Bamidbar, V'lo yamayim la'ida. Vayikahalu al Moshe v'Aaron, a kahal, and they quarreled with Moshe. Lama haveitem, again, at Kal Hashem, why you bring in the Kihila? Vayavo Moshe v'Aaron mipnei hakahal, it says there in Pasuk Vav. What does Hashem say to Moshe? Kach et ha'makteh v'hakel, not the kahal, the Eidah. Atav Aaron achicha. The Pasuk continues. Instead of the Eidah, Pasuk Tet, Pasuk Yud, excuse me, Vayakilu Moshe v'Aaron et ha'kahal pnei hasala, and he calls them rebellious ones. This, what do we say? Vayomer Hashem Moshe, because you didn't believe in me to sanctify me within Bnei Yisrael. Therefore, lo taviu et hakahal hazeh. Rav Chalap, Talmud Muvakov, Rav Kook explains what's the difference between Kihila and Eidah. Kihila is a group of people that happen to be together. You have some sort of purpose, some sort of interest. That's a Kihila. And Eidah is Milashon Eidut. It's more than just the individuals. It's a whole collective unit coming together with a mission. Not just because we all have common interest, but it's something that the sum transcends the individual parts. At the beginning it was a Vayakilu, that's what happened with Aaron. They jumped the Am. But now what happens? It's Vayakel, Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. You, my few, just like in Chit Nimra Yeriva, the problem is how Moshe was seeing Am Yisrael. The Rambam says it's because he called them Morim, rebellious ones. But Rav Chalal talks about, do you see them as a kahal? Or do you see them as a manifestation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Yam lo emantem bi la'aktisheni. Am Yisrael being becha et paer. Through Am Yisrael coming to sanctify. And b'taken olam b'malchut shakai. This is what I believe is what the Torah is hinting to. Possibly a remez, a drash, a remez. A deeper of the pshat. Vayakel Moshe. Moshe gathered. You think it's going to be the exact same kihila that happened upon Aaron, the riffraff, the 3,000 people? No. This is et kol adat b'nei Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says no. Even if they sinned, we have to look at different Am Yisrael. Afal pi, as the Gemara in Kiddushin says, Yisrael afal pi shechata Yisrael. And it's more, it's not just Am Yisrael. Doesn't mean that there's no scars from it. But Kadosh Baruch Hu is avat kilulotayich. It's called adat b'nei Yisrael. He tells them about Shabbat, where there's beini uvin b'nei Yisrael otiyidei olam, and he goes through every single detail of the Mishkan because nothing's being left out here because of this very, very loving relationship of kicholat avat ani. So may we be zochen on an individual level, on a national level, to be able to work. To be able to understand that we are part of the Am, not the Am of the riffraff, but being part of the Eidut, of the ambassador, of giving Eidus to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Eidus to the world, of how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is leading this world. Shabbos.